Hello everybody. I know that normally during this time we would be all going back and forth to the fairgrounds, getting animals ready, getting projects ready, putting the final touches on things, finding our sleeping bags and our tents, and looking forward to what kind of ice cream or good food we're going to have during the fair. And although that's not happening this year with us all together, I appreciate that all of you who have supported our decision and are participating in the celebration of our 4-H fair this week. I was asked to make a video on my woodworking as a way to participate in celebrating 4-H. I couldn't be happier to do so. And as I go through this project, I'll talk a little bit about how I use my head, heart, hands, and health to go through the process steps of this project and expose you to some woodworking and some tools and to some things, and maybe inspire you to take up projects like this for yourself. Head, heart, hands, and health. The 4 H's of 4-H. I want to talk a little bit while this video is going about those 4 H's and how they're a part of this project, and how I've really learned a lot about those 4 H's through my entire career of 4-H and now as a 4-H alumni. And I think it's important that we go through step by step how that applies to this project, and hopefully that inspires you to continue on your 4-H journey and continue to learn and apply those 4 H's to your everyday life. So for the head part of the 4-H, the very first one, it's important as you do any project that you learn the tools, you learn the capabilities, you gain experience, you think clearly through each step. That's a big part of all of these, especially as you use power tools, where things become a little bit more dangerous and require a little bit more focus. But as we go through this video, I would like you all to understand, as you're watching this, I have some of these tools available to me because I've been at this for a very long time. I've been at this more seriously for 6 or 7 years, and through Craigslist and sales and other things, I've accumulated a lot of tools. But everything that I'm doing here today can be done with carefully purchasing or finding wider and better boards, either from a reclamation store, like the ones around Connecticut that support Habitat for Humanity, or even at a retail store like Home Depot or Lowe's. You guys can find boards of more appropriate sizes, and with just some hand tools such as a handsaw, a sander, and a hammer and nails, you guys can achieve everything that I'm achieving today. Whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve, especially as you think through it and make a plan and learn about it and find the resources. And that's a lot about what 4-H is about, is pledging yourself to clearer thinking through steps, finding a way, finding a solution to actually create the thing that you are inspired to create. In this case, you saw me sweep off all of the boards so that there's no debris that could harm or get caught in the thickness planer. You see me using a lot of clamping jigs and things to make sure that my hands are not too close to saw blades. I'm using reclaimed materials, which we'll talk about next in this project, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of things for me to do this and take reclaimed materials to make them into what I want. But really, as long as you're thinking clearly, thinking safely, making a plan, woodworking is a very easy thing to get into, and I encourage anybody who thinks that they have an interest in doing so to do it. There's a lot of great resources on YouTube and articles on the internet to get you started. The heart part of 4-H, I think this is really important. I think that there's a certain responsibility that we have to really take care of people, and really to take care of our community, and really to take care of our environment. In this case, I'm using almost everything from reclaimed materials. Everything that has a history. Every chance I possibly get, I will always use materials that have some sort of a history. The pine boards that make the top of this table are from the first remodel on the barn that I'm currently in. That's on our property. The first remodel that was done was sometime in the 50s or 60s, and there was pine boards left over, just kind of stacked off in a corner. Had a lot of water damage, a lot of cobwebs, which is my least favorite. A lot of things about them that would ordinarily have them to be, put into the fire pit or put into the trash. But I was able to get them cleaned up and sanded and all to the right thickness and split apart and glued back together so I could have a tabletop that's wide enough. And although that takes a lot of extra work, I like having the history. I think it's important. Especially when I give gifts to other people, I really like using material that has a lot of history to it, because then that material gets yet another chance to support something for another however many decades that it can. The oak boards that are around the sides of it that give it its strength, that hold it all together, that is from a pallet of stonework for the first retaining wall that I ever built from about 10 years ago. So that has some history to it as well. I've had that oak for 10 years and I thought it was important enough to save, and this is exactly the project that it was destined for. The metal legs that I'm screwing in also have a history. They're from a desk that was going to be thrown out and I saved them. And the pine dowel that you see in the front there that is going to have hanging the wire brush and the tongs is also from this property, from the barn that we're working in. I have all of the history written down here on a Sharpie on the bottom of the board, and that's what's important. That history is going to stay with this thing for as long as it survives, and eventually, if I need to, I will be planing it all down, disassembling it, and making it into something else. Pledging your hands to greater service is a big part of what woodworkers in general do. As soon as you have the skill and the tools, as you become a more experienced woodworker, it's amazing how many times you get asked to do little things. I myself, my favorite thing to do is I make cutting boards for people. Also, when I get the chance, I make those out of recycled materials that are food safe. I typically don't make them out of pallets because I don't know where that pallet was and what's soaked into it. But a lot of times I have fallen trees that might be destined for a wood chipper. I try to save them and make cutting boards out of them, and I typically try to do that and give them away to people. And I've made tables for people and furniture for people, cutting boards for people, and that is a small thing that this particular skill set allows. But it's just important, again, that with every skill set in 4-H that we learn, there's always an opportunity to have an impact on somebody's life and make their life a little bit better, make the best a little bit better. The last H, of course, is pledging our health to greater living. There's not much better than a barbecue and a really nice day outside and eating healthy. There's a lot of great things and terrific food that you can eat that is healthy and wholesome for your body to keep your energy and keep things going along. And the same case is here. I really wanted to start cooking outside again, and I did not have a good place for this small barbecue that my wife and I own that we got from a 4-H silent auction. And so tonight in this video we were making some grilled butternut squash and chicken. It was very delicious. I liked it very much. There were no leftovers. And that's all a part. Pledging our health to better living, and I feel very good. Very good about the food that we're cooking, about the project that I'm making, and about what we all as a community are trying to do with celebrating 4-H this week. I think all of those things contribute to your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. So I'm proud of all of you who supported our decision to postpone the fair for 1 year, and as we as a people get a hold of this current situation. I wanted to encourage all of you that you're doing a great job. We're all in this together, even though we might be 6 feet or more apart. And that has a lot to do with 4-H just being one of the best places and best things I've ever experienced. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's important to me, and I really hope you got something out of it. So I thank you very much for watching. Well, everybody, that's it. Thank you for watching me build this small table to hold my barbecue. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it exposed you to woodworking and maybe inspires you to do something with your head, heart, hands, or health. I know we can't all be here together, in the one place for the fair this year, but I hope you enjoy the fair celebration week this week, and stay safe out there, and I'll see you next year.